All right, cool. Let me see. There's a lot of like text and stuff. Are we like half and half or what? Because I see you on like the little corner. I kind of wish it was like full screen. Who's smaller? Yeah, but I want to make you like full sized. Hold on here.
Do I
Add
go live and
host.
then join? I don't know how I do that.
Yeah, do that. So like, yeah, that's odd. All right, so if you leave this and then go
Okay.
live,
Yeah.
and then I can add you as a co-host once you're live.
Okay. Cool.
What's up, YouTube? Everyone, we're live on YouTube too. We're trying to
Oh
figure
yeah.
out the. We're trying to go live on a bunch of other platforms on our phones, so we're taking a look. What's up, everybody? It's been a minute since I think it's been like 2 weeks since we streamed, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. It's been 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Let me know once you're live, and then I can add you.
Yeah. So I hit the plus sign, go live.
Yeah,
I
pretty
pick a
much.
title. Last
What's up,
day.
TikTok? And then we can probably just go together. Let me put a banner up on here. Let's put your notes for a second. Yeah, today was your last day. I want to talk about it. I saw you getting emotional on.
I was, yeah, and it's I don't know. It's the place that like first place that I worked at. The place where I grew so much, so kind of got emotional. It's hard. It's hard leaving people that I can rely on, that are kind of
Yeah,
mentors, and um, they have been really supportive. So, and not only just with like professional stuff, with also my personal stuff and all of that good jazz. And it's hard as an immigrant. So, yep.
Uh,
Yeah, I'm excited.
let
I'm
me know
excited.
once you're live. You live yet?
What did you put as the topic?
I don't remember. I don't think I did put anything.
Chat.
There's people joining here though. TikTok, hold on a second. YouTube, hold on a second. We're trying to figure out how to go live on a couple platforms, and then we'll start answering questions about like tech career and cloud computing and coding and all that kind of stuff. Just waiting for
Oh,
Rishab to go live.
so you press that little diamond thing, and then can you invite me?
The little infinity loop thing. Are you
Yeah,
live though?
yeah, I'm live. I will
So
show
now
up.
I should be. Yeah, right here. Here we go. Boom. I got you.
Here we go.
Ah, interesting.
Looks pretty
Wait,
good.
let me make sure the volume's low. Okay, cool. Uh, I think we're good there.
Yeah,
You're holding your phone with your hand.
I am.
What does it say here? Rishab's last day as a DevOps engineer. Yeah. All right. Anyway, Rishab, you're joining Google next week? No, when do you start your job at Google?
I'm joining. Yeah, I'm joining Google Monday.
So you have like no time off.
Yeah, apart from the weekend, but yeah,
I thought you were gonna take. I guess because you like the week
the Christmas
the
and
holiday.
the Christmas and New Year's. So I took like 10 days off, which is nice.
Well, how was your last day like? I know you were at the office. I saw your TikTok.
Yep. Yeah, so I was at the office. It was a bit emotional, I would say. Just like parting ways from my office, my desk, and the people, of course. I know, like when I was an intern, Sean, who was my supervisor, he's an IT admin at that time. He was in, so it was hard. But yeah, they're really excited and thrilled about me joining Google and just a journey that I've been on. But yeah, it was fun.
Yay, Rishab.
Thanks, Courtney.
Yeah, we got a couple of people here to. Someone says hi, guys. Hi, Turtle. Happy Turtle. Rishab's last day is a DevOps. IT questions with Nige says,
Yep.
yo, didn't pass my AZ 900. Oh no. What happened? What you? I'm assuming you got like your score and then your classification there, so it probably tells you like what
Yeah.
you need to work on. Do you have the 900?
Yep. Yep.
Did
And
you
I do
pass it first
have
try?
notes.
Ah, there we go. Let's put the banner up with the notes.
Yeah. But yeah, I passed it on my first try. I think I had good teachers like Gwyn.
Okay. Thanks, Rishab. Let's see. What do we got here? Oh, you got your new laptop. Did you like start setting it up and stuff like that?
I was gonna. It's encrypted, so the drive itself. So you know how Linux you can encrypt the drive, so you need to enter password before even logging in.
Mhm.
So I need to get that password, and I don't have that. And Google sent a note along with the laptop saying, "Hey, you just need to plug this in for now, and just press the power button until your day one. So your first call will be regarding setting up your laptop and credentials and stuff." So I cannot,
Oh, sweet.
yeah,
Yeah, you gotta
log in.
wait. You can't do anything.
Yep. But it's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's the ThinkPad X1 Carbon.
I'm jealous.
Yeah, it's really light. I was amazed, and then I realized it's because it's all carbon fiber. Um, at least I think. Um, but yeah,
It's running Ubuntu.
no, I thought so too, and I was like, maybe I try to switch to Pop OS, but it's running Debian. So I'm like, okay, so that's a good pick. Um, so I'll keep using Debian for now. Maybe down the road I'll switch to Pop because we're just huge Pop OS fans.
What will Risha be doing at Google? You want to talk about what you're doing at Google?
Yeah, so I am in the technical solutions team. I'll be working as technical solutions specialist, which is the exact title that I'll be holding at Google. I'll be working with clients, helping them build solutions in GCP.
Yeah, sort of like I mean, in my opinion, like a entry level solutions architect.
Yeah, it's pretty close to that. Yeah, I think they're so in AWS it's called Associate Cloud Solutions Architect, I think.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I've never seen Microsoft, like I've seen Cloud Solutions Architect. I've never seen no, I've not seen Architect. I've seen Cloud Solutions Engineer, but I haven't
Mm-hmm.
seen like Associate stuff.
Yeah. At Microsoft, they're called CSAs, Cloud Solution Architects, and they're really cool because like they'll spend like months with like different
Yeah.
companies or clients,
Hmm.
and they'll go in and they'll essentially like incorporate themselves into the teams,
Hmm.
and they'll have to like learn whatever stack it is that the team uses or the company uses, and then kind of get an idea for what they're trying to build.
Yeah.
And then from there, it'll like, if whatever programming language it is, they have to learn. And it's cool because like you're sort of part of like a group of cloud solution architects.
Hmm.
And then the group, like amongst them, there'll be a Python developer, there'll be someone who's like
Yeah.
a C#.NET developer, and then if you're assigned like like a project that uses Python as a stack, whatever, you'll have to um sort of just like learn it on the go or like lean on your resources um from your like team. And then
Hmm.
that's so like there's like this onboarding. So say you spend like 6 months with a client, there's
Okay.
like an onboard period, right? So like a month where it takes you to like figure out what you're doing with the project.
Hmm.
And then um you're essentially working with this team, kind of like a 9 to 5 kind of thing with the team, and then you offboard them, but you can only offboard once it's like they know what the solution does and that kind of stuff, right? So like
Okay.
you want to leave them in a good place.
Yeah.
But it's cool. I think like I think like being a cloud solutions architect is something that I could ideally say if it's not PM for like a product, I would see myself going into like solution architect, just because
Cool.
it's still like general, right?
Hmm.
But you know, that's my issue where it's like sometimes I'm like one day I want to work on something that I can absolutely focus on, like a tech that I can focus on just for the whole like, for the whole year or whatever. And then it's
Yeah.
like, no, I feel like I'm gonna get so bored. But I think that's where the benefit of like becoming a solution architect. It's like it's more of like the architecture instead of the individual type of service and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um,
And I think it
TikTok
gives
is going
you
like crazy.
for
I don't know
you,
if you saw that. Yeah, there's like a bunch of people in here.
but
Um,
there are no questions though, right?
I don't know. We should take a
Yeah.
pause. So, what's up, TikTok? My name is Gwyn. This is Rishab. I work at Microsoft. Rishab is now joining Google. I am a cloud advocate. Rishab is going to be working in sort of like a solutions architect role with customers, building solutions with customers with Google Cloud. And then we're sort of trying out this thing where we do this thing on YouTube where we live stream almost every week. We kind of just talk
Hmm.
about what we've been working on, stuff that we've been learning, all that kind of things. And we're trying to like give it a try on TikTok as well, but we also are live streaming on YouTube. My YouTube is in my like bio if you wanted to watch there better. But what we do is really just like answer questions that people have about careers in cloud,
Yeah.
um, or just like really recap our weeks. Right. Today was Rishab's last day as a DevOps engineer, and then we're sort of just talking about what his new role is going to be like too. Really. But yeah, we sort of grab questions from the chat. So if you have like
Hmm.
any questions about cloud or tech or career or anything like that, just let us know in the chat and we'll grab them from there. And then we also have the chat from like YouTube and Twitter and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, what I mean, we got a question here, Rishab, about what was your interview process like? I know you talked about like your interviewing process at Google before, but I don't know if you want to talk about it more now.
Sure. I still like it can. It's pretty same to what we talked about in, I think, the last stream. So it involved a phone screen. So that usually is with your hiring manager or whoever is assigned. They go over some technical stuff and just get good understanding of what you're looking for and what kind of roles you might be into, what kind of experience you have and like exposure you have in the past,
Mhm.
and what tech stack you are working with and all of that good stuff. And it usually is around 15 to 20 minutes. And I think that was same with Amazon too. Like I had a 30-minute technical phone screen, and then same thing with Google. um and yeah, with that being done, and if they think you will be a good fit, with Google, how it worked out is they recommend, like, I had like two um positions that I was interested in. So they tell you which is one that they strongly recommend according to them, where I'll be a good fit.
Mhm.
And in my case, it was technical solutions engineer first, and then technical solutions developer. I chose technical solutions developer back in August, and um, after that, it was, I think, four interviews on in one day. And those four interviews were, one was coding, so tech, like basic coding challenge.
Was it
And
what language was it?
oh, that depends on you. So I was offered Java, Python, C Sharp,
What did
JavaScript.
you do?
I chose Python.
It's the one
Uh,
that you're most comfortable with, right?
yeah, that's the most I'm comfortable and I have like used the most,
Mhm.
just at work and stuff. Um, yeah, so first one was that, then was system design. Third one was networking, and I think fourth one was like a general RC, like a knowledge check. So questions could vary. You don't know what they could ask you.
Mhm.
And the questions are, especially with Google interviews, they're ambiguous. So they're open ended. It's your job to like ask clarifying questions to get towards the solution.
Mhm.
But yeah, after all of that, that was the last, like, I think, yeah, I gave like 5 or 6 interviews and that was it. But I got rejected because I failed my um, coding challenge miserably, I think. Uh, that was my understanding. Like that's the reason why I was rejected. Um, but yeah, after that, I think the recruiter was like, "Okay, you are under a cooldown period," and I'm pretty sure Microsoft has the same. I know Amazon does the same thing, where for 6 months you cannot apply for the same team
Mhm.
or adjacent roles within the same team. Same thing was with Google, but I was still in touch with my Google recruiter, and in December was reached out like, "Hey, I might have something that might interest you," and I'm like, "Sure." So we jumped on a call. She told me what was the role, and it was technical solution specialist. Um, so the catch was that there won't be any coding challenge, which again, as I said, I think I failed miserably, and she confirmed. um, and but for the rest of it, she said your other interviews were really good, so you should definitely try this one.
Mhm.
And this time, I only had to go through 2 interviews. One was with my manager, and the other one was just general like knowledge check. So yeah, um, went through those. They were 45 minutes each, and here we are. I got hired.
The was the TikTok thing ended for some reason on my.
Yeah, I'm like, where did you go?
I don't know. It was going like crazy. At one point, there was like 100 people in there, and I was like, "What's
Oh my
going on?"
god!
And then I went to like scroll to see if I had any chat messages, and the thing says your live ended. So we'll have to figure it out, but we'll do it after.
Cool. Oh, mine is still going,
All
but
right.
yeah, there are a lot of questions. So
Cool. So yeah, that's basically your Google interview you mentioned like last time. Couple of rounds. What's
yeah.
cool is that like your recruiter was focused on like helping you get a job versus just like, doing it for one
Oh yeah.
specific role, and like they were open to you being like, all right, this is like there's another role that could potentially be the right one for you.
No,
Um,
for sure.
which I think is really good because like it's not that you don't like software development. It's like you think, well, from what I've seen, code is more like an accessory to like the stuff you actually like to do. It's not like I don't know. I don't see you coding like every single day, like 8 hours.
No. Oh
No.
no. No. Um, in like last 2 months, I think I've coded every day. But again, that was Terraform or like infrastructure as code, YAML. Um,
Yeah. It's different than like a
it's
language.
different than a language, like creating functions and stuff.
Hmm.
And like you said, like I've never done software development, and I don't do well with like data structures and algorithm because I'm not
Oh
prepared for them
gosh.
or I've studied them. Um,
Yeah.
and I do like, I know it's hard, but the thing is, once we start practicing, I'm pretty sure we'll grasp it. But that's the thing. I think that's where I'll be shifting some focuses to like work on some coding skills and at least be proficient in like one language, because that's what matters. It's same like cloud providers. If you know
Did
one
you
inside out,
did you decide which one you want to become proficient in?
I so you had me hooked to Rust. I was liking it so far. I was going through Learn modules
Hmm.
on Microsoft Learn for Rust, and then it's different than Python in many ways.
Very different.
In many
Did you get
ways,
to ownership yet?
no. So
That's where I was
I
like,
had that.
oh my gosh.
Yeah, I had that Saturday that you had, and I was like, okay, I don't have a lot of time,
Mhm. Yeah, that
so I'll be
existential
focusing on
Saturday.
Python. Yeah.
Mm.
I'll keep poking around Python, and you might have seen my TikToks. I'm building that weather app thing, um,
Yeah, very
which
cool.
is, yeah, which is in Python. So Yeah, I think
Yeah,
I'll
lean into what you know. I've gone back to like I wouldn't say back, but like .NET. Um, and it's
yeah.
because so I think I mentioned this last maybe 2 streams ago
Hmm.
that I was excited about this product that we're going to be releasing, a tool that we're going to be releasing at some point this year.
Yeah.
Um, and then and this is why I tell people it's really really important for you to network with honest intentions and not to get anything out of anyone, right? Just to get to know people.
Hmm.
The person who is sort of leading this project is someone that I had spoken to years, maybe when I started YouTube and they had started following me. And when I joined Microsoft, like I hit them up on Teams, like within a couple of weeks of joining, and
Yeah.
they told me like, whenever you feel settled, there's plenty of stuff that I could use your help on. I was like, all
Okay.
right, cool. Fast forward to maybe a month ago, someone shares a screenshot of a service that is in the works, and I'm like, that sounds freaking cool. And then I ask like who's sort of the lead, and turns out it's the same person. So I messaged him and I'm like, hey, I'm really like a lot more settled in my role now. I really would love to help out. And
Hmm.
then immediately they get me on like a bunch of meetings. They get me on a bunch of like stand ups and stuff like that. And a bunch of like, GitHub issues and assigned tasks. So there's a lot in there. I can't really give any details, but that's a big reason why I went back to like, let me go back into like my my .NET kind of role
Nice.
usage, and like let me brush up on that because it's going to require some of that and a bunch of other skills too. But once it is public, I'll let you all know what it is. But the reason I bring this up is because pick the tool that you need to use, right? What if I was like so set on like using Rust or something, and then I like would pass on the opportunity to work on something that is going to be an official product just because like it doesn't necessarily align with what I'm trying to learn or what I'm trying to get better at? Nah.
No.
All right.
Yeah.
uh so yeah, that's cool. That was and yeah, I've been like really focused on like polishing up my .NET. Like you said, I want to become like proficient at one language, like know the ins and outs, just because like
Hmm.
sometimes I go on like the .NET subreddit, and like they'll talk about like performance or like specifics about things, and I'm like, it's cool, it's like cool to geek out about like certain like things about language.
Yeah.
Maybe, well,
Definitely.
in my opinion. But yeah, let's take a look at what do we got here. My current percentage till sixth semester, 65%. Is there a chance I can apply in these top IT companies, as they usually ask for 75%, I guess? Um, where are you based?
Yeah. I'm
I don't.
based on the name and based on the question how it's phrased. I
Mhm,
think they're based in India, because there's a lot of like merit based hiring there, depending on how you
mhm.
score, just because of the competition we have there. Yeah, I honestly don't have any experience based on like especially with Indian hiring and how companies hire there when it comes to if you are not like academically that well, but you still know how to code and you still know how like you have the cloud skills that are necessary, like how
Yeah,
easy or difficult it is to secure a job. So yeah, I'm sorry, but yeah, I don't have
yeah. I can't
the
give you
insight
insight
that you
into.
need. Yeah.
Yeah, if it's not about like getting hired in the U.S., like I can't. Like
Hmm.
why would I give you my opinion there? Do you have to know data structures and algorithms and doing legal problems to be a DevOps engineer, or is it as long as you can automate stuff, you are fine? That's for you, Rishab.
Yeah, so it totally depends on the company. So DevOps is something where I've seen companies where people code every day as a role.
Hmm.
And I've also seen DevOps roles where you're like me, you're just automating stuff, you're making sure that the product gets delivered efficiently, and there are no hiccups, and you define processes and have tools and like proper monitoring in place. So yeah, some interviews you might have to go through a coding challenge or a coding interview where you need to know data structures and algorithms.
Yeah.
But yeah, do ask those questions when you're applying and you're trying to interview for a company, because again, you're trying to secure a job and you need to prepare.
Hey guys, great chat so far. I'm currently studying AWS Cloud Practitioner. Pretty nice so far. I don't have. Do you have that one?
Yeah, that was my first cloud certificate.
Ah, that's right. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Let's see. Carlos says hello. We got Matthew says thanks for sharing. No reply says hi guys. Hi everyone.
Hey.
What else was I gonna ask you? I can't remember. What was
Okay.
it?
Do you remember?
No.
Okay.
Oh, what's something that you struggled with this week? I was literally just working with regular expressions. Oh my gosh, dude.
Oh,
I
don't
was
mention
so
them.
and
Don't
like
mention.
I I was working up until I was like so frustrated. Like Courtney came out to like heat up some food,
Yeah.
and then I was like, "Ah, I can't figure this out. And I was like, I can't figure out the regular expression. And she's like, I don't know what that is, but I'm sorry. Kind of thing, right? It's like, oh my goodness, dude. So I'm working on a bash for next week. I have an hour bash session.
Mm-hmm.
I've got everything good set up. I'm working on the grep part, right? And I'm
Okay.
trying to build this example using grep, sort of how to teach how to use grep. Grep is all about using regular expressions, right?
Yeah.
And I can't for the life of me figure out how to get like I can get half of what I want, but it's still like so anyway, that's what I was struggling. That's my struggle of the week, regular expressions.
Cool. Well, most of the week has been just offboarding stuff, right? So a lot of documentation, a lot of making sure like I tell what I have been doing for 2 years and everything is taken care of. Personally, yeah, with that Python project, I ran into something I don't remember, but I know where there is somewhere that Google tab open, or Stack Overflow tab open in my browser. And so I'm trying to, you know how you have that rate.sx. I don't know if you have heard about that. So if you go into a browser and type rate.sx, you can get cryptocurrency prices. But if you also curl it, you get a really good command line output. And it's amazing what they
Yeah.
built. So I tried to build a web API using Flask now. So my CLI
Mm-hmm.
version looked amazing. I did want to make it as an API so people can also like curl it and stuff and still look at it
Mm-hmm.
up in browser. And what's
Mm-hmm.
happening is so with Flask, you have to have a template page, which is like index.html, and that's where you
Mm-hmm.
basically place your data in through the API that I was getting, which is in my case weather.
Mm-hmm.
And the issue I was running in when you do a curl request, so in your CLI, any shell, you will get the entire HTML document. So you will get H1, H2, like all those HTML tags and the HTML code along with the data, which I hated.
Mm-hmm.
So I was trying to figure out a way that I could still have index.html as a template page, but also have a clean CLI output.
Yeah.
Then I think I figured it out. I'll be posting it on TikTok later.
You're going hard on TikTok. What I
I
noticed.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's like 15 to 20-second videos. It doesn't take time, and
Yeah. And
it's
like you'll
usually
get
what I'm
freaking
doing.
10,000 views.
Yeah, exactly. And you never know. It's a hit and miss. So some of my videos, which I never expected them to like go viral, they overnight went viral, and then some of them I put like extra research and effort into it, and they are like 7 plays, and I'm like, wow. I'm like, I have 800 followers. At least get me 800 plays on this.
Freaking TikTok, I swear. I'm struggling to find the motivation drive to study for AZ 104 after I come home from work. Help desk Monday to Friday. Are certs worth it if you already got a decent job? Uh, I mean, if you're in help desk already, you might be able to do like a bunch of projects.
Hmm.
Uh, I would still say like at least once, like an associate level certification would definitely help, at least, and then a bunch of projects. But if you don't have the motivation or drive to study, like, will you have the motivation and drive to like do the projects? Because it's still going to take time, and it's
Yeah.
most likely going to be more difficult than studying. Because studying, you got that stuff outlined. You're following a course or a learning path or whatever.
Hmm.
But with like building a project, you're going to be really like struggling a lot. Because you're hacking something together.
Yeah.
So is it really an issue about the certification? Or is it an issue more of like, you know, just finding the time and like pushing through it kind of thing?
Yeah. And yeah, not so Gwen already covered the cert and like the project, and those are some great suggestions. But yeah, just in general, like especially if you're in tech, I believe have like an hour allotted for professional development.
Hmm.
Whether it be reading articles, reading a book, upskilling on Linux, upskilling on cloud. It doesn't have to be a certificate. Um, could be anything, just to stay relevant in technology in general.
Yeah, that's important. It's like you're gonna have to put in extra time throughout your entire career to stay relevant, which
Hmm.
is like it's extremely difficult, but it's I guess the reason why it's like so like well paid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have some
Uh,
questions on TikTok that I want to think get answered.
all right. Pull them up while we answer this one. If I'm trying to land an internship related to cloud, what projects for my resume should I be working on? You should do the cloud resume in at least two clouds. So there's AWS out there, there's GCP, and then there's an Azure version that I personally did. So do at least two, I would say. Outside of that, depending on what kind of job, developer, admin, or like I guess entry level is not really architect or internship. I mean, there could be. We have a page. If you go to learntocloud.guide and then you hit more projects, you're gonna find a bunch of like websites that have like projects and like exercises and stuff to go through. So go through those and filter out the ones that you want to like you think will make the most
Mm,
impact on your resume.
yeah,
That's really it. But I would say the cloud resume at least.
it's a really good project. It's broader when it comes to tech that it covers, and
Mhm.
in the end you have like a product, like project that you can show, and it also brings value because it's basically your portfolio site. It can work as your portfolio site. So
Yeah, it's
um
your portfolio. You get a project, you got something on GitHub, you can document it. You can make a whole blog series like Lou did that. Lou,
yeah.
who runs Open Up the Cloud, he has an entire playlist around the Cloud Resume project.
Mhm.
So you can get so much out of that. So yeah, highly recommend doing at least that one. Turtle says, "Happy, thanks for sharing your experience, guys." Every time I hear Turtle, I think of. Have you heard of the show Entourage? No, it's a
No.
pretty popular show. One of the characters, I'm watching it. It came out in like the 2000s, I think.
Oh, okay.
And there's one of the characters' name is Turtle.
Okay.
That's why it like reminds me of that. You got any TikTok questions?
Yeah. So I think I don't want to butcher her name, but it's Socket. She says, "Hi guys, I'm currently working on my cloud practitioner certification. Is there any scope? Can I find a job with that certification?" So when I got my cloud engineering gig, but again, this is back 2018, 2019, I only
18, yeah.
had, yeah, cloud practitioner. I didn't had any other certificates. I did had a really good project, which was really similar to the cloud resume challenge that we were talking about. Um, but yeah, you, I think cloud practitioner is like a good start, and then get an associate's Could be any. Could be
Mm.
solutions architect, developer, or sysadmin. And I think you'll be like at a good place when it comes to like good certificates on your resume. Then I think two should be enough, especially if you're just starting out in cloud. And then one of the questions says, "Where did you connect with her LinkedIn?" Oh, so I'm guessing this is in regards to my recruiter. So no,
Mm.
this I didn't connect with her on LinkedIn. I did apply to Google Careers site, and like she reached out after my resume was picked, and yeah, that's how I basically got in touch with her. And I think this is the last one. Hello, last day. Why? So the title of my TikTok says it's my last day as a DevOps engineer. And
Mm.
yeah, I'm joining Google from Monday. Joining the Google Cloud team. So as a technical support specialist or technical solution specialist, which is why I'm leaving the DevOps gig. Yeah, I think I'm gonna turn off Twitter live or TikTok live.
TikTok.
It's hard. My hand is hurting now.
It's hard to focus on both. We got to find a way to get the stream key and like add it onto here. It's hard. It's hard. It's kind of hard to focus. Or maybe we'll do like just TikTok streams or something like that, or just Instagram or something like that, outside of StreamYard.
Yeah.
You talk a lot about projects. Can you talk about some projects you've actually done with some details? Yeah,
Right.
of course. So like the first cloud project I did was a serverless one. It was just automating some reports. So like I can't. I think it was like some billing or invoicing data that was sent from an Excel spreadsheet to just like some data engineer who would clean the data and then insert it into a SQL database or a couple of SQL databases, something like that. I can't remember. So I wrote some .NET functions that would, I think it was blob storage trigger listening to. Oh no, I had a logic app that would listen to the email inbox when it matched like a subject and a sender and had an attachment that matched a certain file name. Send it over to blob storage. And then the Azure function had a blob storage trigger. Grab the file, process it, clean the data, and then export it as like I think a CSV. And then I had because the reason I couldn't directly insert it from the function to the table was because of a version of SQL issue. Like they were on a really old version of SQL or something like that. So then I exported to CSV, and then I had a scheduled job on the VM that would run every morning or once a week, something like that. That would use AZ copy to pull the file from blob storage, and then I also used, it was probably like PowerShell or something, or maybe a SQL stored procedure to pull that file and insert it into the table. So that was the first thing I did. Then I did another one that automated some like Jira data into like a Tableau thing. It was a really similar process though. It would grab tickets from Jira because Jira exports to JSON. So basically we're just parsing some JSON data and inserting that into a SQL table as well. Very similar pipeline, right? So I won't get into the details of that. The biggest one, I guess the biggest project I did for that company was there was a bunch of XML files that were being exported from a web app that we created. And each file had a set of credentials, so like username and password, so sort of upload to this portal. But it was being done manually by two people, so they would have to like they would have to download the files that are generated, and then upload them, log into this portal, upload the file, wait for a success message, and then sign out, and then do that for like 50 files. So they would divide it 25 each, take them about like 2 hours, so 4 hours every single day. The limitations with this was you had to wait for a success message. You had to get it done between 8 a.m. because the files were being generated at 8 a.m. and it had to be done by like 9:59 a.m. of the same day because of it was like it was in the energy sector, so they have like it's like weird, like cleared cutoff. Like if 9:59 is considered the same day,
I think we lost Gwen. Um, let's try reaching her on Discord. Sorry, bear with me while I type. But yeah, no, those were some cool projects. I was really invested into the last one there. Hopefully, she'll be back. But yeah, for me, I one of the recent one that I want to talk about is DevOps uh, related. So I've been working on Terraform modules, so that it could be used in like the entire enterprise. And these were like custom modules, you could say, that we created. Like it was something that was upstream, and people who want to launch infrastructure, they could use these modules to launch the infrastructure. And we make sure like the images and the virtual machine images that we are using for our infrastructure are like secure. They have all the tooling that we need to monitor and stuff. So that was really cool. And I think it just gave me good experience with Terraform and Packer. So we used Packer to create the machine images, and then we make sure we baked it into the Terraform modules that I cooked. Yeah, a lot of cooked that I'm using. But yeah, that was a really good project, and I was working until like last week. Then yeah, I've been I'll be leaving the role. But yeah, that was the project that I was working on. Hey, we have Gwen back.
My internet died, I think.
Cool, cool. People were
Gracious.
invested.
In my story? Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a good one.
Yeah.
You can see me, hear me. We're good.
Yep. You're good. Crisp and clear.
All right. Where was that? Okay, so there was a time limitation, so it had to be submitted. So there was only like 2 hours. So what sucked about it was like manually these people would have to start their day like 7 a.m. because they had to work earlier, right? And then they had to get
Hmm.
everything done and avoid distractions from meetings or anything like that. So whatever. So I spent like a couple of days, just kind of watching them, gathering the requirements, seeing how it's done manually, that kind of stuff. And then I just started like hacking stuff together. So my first big thing was like I need to automate, like once the files are available, I need to automate those to be sent somewhere where I can access them easily from the cloud. So obviously with
Hmm.
using an Azure, we were using Azure. I was like, I need to get them to blob storage. It was pretty straightforward because it's like .NET code, and then my boss had like full access to it. So he was like, I'll make sure that the XML files are generated and sent over to blob storage. So that was fine. The next issue was, all right, so I need to be able to tell which set of credentials to use just on the file name. So then we established sort of like a naming convention, get these files like generated in a way that from the name, we can know which set of key value pairs to grab as the credentials.
Hmm.
Next, I was like, all right, where do I store the credentials in a safe way, in a way that I can rotate them pretty easily? Key Vault. Key Vault integrates fantastic with Azure Functions. So it's like, all right, so then we have a username and a password in Key Vault, and then I know that per each file, I can tell the code to like, this is the file that you got. This is the key that you need to go find in Key Vault, and then you grab them, and then perfect. Next was creating C# code for each function, or for the function, to grab the file, and then parse the XML, and then authenticate to the API of the portal with the correct credentials,
Hmm.
and then grab a status message and then send it to log to Azure Monitor. That was like the first thing. Fantastic. After a couple of days, I put that all together. And then the next sort of like important parts were like building like a website where we could get like all the status messages, and it would either be like it was like just really simple. It was just like a table that either had okay
Oh,
or
okay.
error. And then if there was ever an error, it would just be like a red thing, and then the people would manually be able to go check like what happens. Like maybe I need to submit it
So it
again,
was like a
or
status
maybe
page.
yeah, just like a status page. I use Blazor WebAssembly to build it.
Nice.
But yeah, that was great. And then I created like a little utility, like a Python, like use the Python Azure Key Vault SDK to create something where they could just like type in, all right, which username, which password are you trying to update, provide the new value, and they would go to Key Vault and update it for the function. So that ran every single day. What was cool about that was the first project that I was able to get like a monetary value to make my case to like get a promotion to my cloud engineering gig, because it went from like, you're spending almost, let's say, on an average 3 hours every single day for 5 days a week. No, I think they even had to do these on Saturday. So let's say just an average of 15 hours a week.
15 to 20,
and then,
yeah.
15 to 20 hours a week. So we're talking, what, like 60 to anywhere to like almost 100 hours of people time saved in exchange for a solution that runs for 30 cents a month.
Oh,
because
okay.
the function is under, so you get 1 million function executions for free, and that function was never going to hit that. And I knew that if I run this on functions, it's going to be free. We only have to pay for storage. And they wanted to keep an archive of all the generated XML files in the cloud anyway, which was roughly around 30 cents, because they were just so freaking small, right?
Yeah. Pretty neat.
So yeah, that was like the next big one. That was the one that I suffered. That took me like a month to build, and I built the whole thing from scratch. And I really suffered. Like, I feel like everyone in their career, when they go from like feeling from like a beginner to becoming more confident, there's always like a project that's sort of like pivotal. And that was the project for me, because I was just like, I went from knowing very little of how to really build solutions end to end, from functions to bindings to coding to everything, to like
To building
spending
the entire project,
building the entire thing, but also learning how to work with other teams, how to properly collect requirements, how to properly ask questions, how to properly ask for help, stuff like that. All that happened with that one project that took me maybe a month or so to do. And after that, my career just like changed completely because of like being able to implement that. That was like another one, I think, of the most recent ones. Like, a lot of my projects are developer focused, like cloud developer focused, because it's just what I like the most. We did like the .NET like real time, the crypto real time one, which is really cool. Using SignalR, using functions again. Right now I'm doing more, I guess more like web stuff, more .NET stuff. This month's a little bit more focused on like Bash, containers, and Kubernetes. Oh, we're doing a Terraform session, so infrastructure as code, in like 2 weeks and stuff like that. But those aren't really projects. I do want to build. My friend mentioned this, and this is why I brought up to you. I have a colleague his name is Liam. He's a Go developer. He's a cloud advocate based in London. He had the idea of building a microservice, an app that had a microservice architecture, but utilizing Go and .NET.
Okay.
And that, like, I'm keen to like build that and take a look at that, right? But anyway, that's like some project ideas that I've like projects that I've implemented. Do you have any that you want to share?
Yeah, while you were gone, I did share mine, the one that I've been working on as a recent DevOps engineer with Terraform and Packer. And I think that's like the biggest and the most that I've coded so far in the DevOps and both cloud engineering gig. Just because like I had to write it from scratch, and I had the kind of the liberty to like direct this project, where it was going and what kind of problems it is going to solve within the organization. So yeah, I think, and again, like you said, when you're like really invested in a project and you get to work with so many teams and people that will be using this tool, and it gives you like a really good perspective of how they want to use it. And like it completely changed my mindset Like I had something else in my mind when I started it, and like
Mhm.
after talking to people, they're like, "Oh no, we'll be only using it in a certain way." So you need to like those skills come as you like
Well,
experience
that
them, or
yeah, that kind of goes with like the interviewing process. Why they try to be so like high level, it's
yeah,
because you need to be able to get these requirements and be able to know how to ask these
hmm
questions, because
yep,
that's really how it is. When they'll tell you, like to me, they told me like, "Hey, Gwen, we have these files. We need to get them uploaded automatically to this website.
hmm
Like, figure it out." That's it. But there's like no one was talking to me about like naming conventions,
yeah,
key value pairs, updating, status page, none of that. Everything, all of that came out of me asking questions and
hmm
really figuring out the details, right? So it's like it's a skill set on its own, right?
for sure.
Oh, another project I keep forgetting to mention, the Azure Resume Challenge. I built that. Like I knew the specifications,
hmm
but I'm the one who like put it together completely. That was like it was pretty hard, not gonna
Yeah.
lie. Let's see. Azure AWS for beginners. We get this question every single stream.
hmm we
Either.
should make the answer as the banner.
Yeah, we should. Hold on, where is it? Here we go. Learn a cloud guide. Go to phase 3,
Yep.
and we talk about that extensively there. So that's your answer there. First time catching the live stream. Found out about you while watching. Lightfoot. Dwayne Lightfoot, pretty cool. Currently working in a service desk role. He's cloud advocate at AWS now.
Nice.
Currently work in a service desk role and setting for the AZ900 to advanced skills. Nice. I like that. I like AZ900, AWS, Cloud Practitioner. All of them are really good. Plot twist. She's standing very still. No, I'm here. I'm here. I don't know what happened. Like my laptop just lost
Okay.
Wi-Fi connection for some reason. Here we go. For those of us in help desks, do we need to learn any programming or just scripting enough? We recommend programming.
It depends.
Just you don't need like full
hmm
applications, but like again, learn to cloud.guide. There's a programming phase. We talk about this there too.
Yeah.
Scripting is great. You need to know Bash. You need to know how to list directories. You need to know how to change directories,
hmm
create files, remove files, list permissions, view processes, kill processes, different kill signals. You need to be able to use grep. You need to be able to filter things. You need to be able to pipe things. You need to be able to redirect things. You just need to. And like me revisiting Bash this month has realized like how important it is to have as a skill for every single thing.
hmm
Every tool out there that you use is going to have a CLI, Azure CLI, AWS CLI, Docker CLI.
Yep.
Everything has a CLI. If you don't know how to work with commands, you're not going to be able to like automate things. You're not going to have a successful career in cloud. So Bash is like the bare scripting commands, and Bash is like the bare minimum. The
hmm
more you add onto it, the more like you stick out, right? So yes, I would say at least Bash, and then if you do then take it a step like after that to be like Python, and become comfortable with a language.
hmm
Let's take a look out here. I remember you talking about this book called The Phoenix Project. Are there any other books you guys recommend? The Phoenix Project is good. The DevOps Handbook is good as well. The Unicorn Project, which is the one that came after the Phoenix Project, is very interesting as well. I really, really like Tools and Weapons, but it's more of the business side of cloud computing and technology. It's great. And then books. I don't know. Do you have another one? I think DevOps for Dummies is a good one too.
Yeah.
But then specific to cloud, no, I don't really know any other ones.
No, I haven't read them, so I can't really recommend them. But I'm really hooked to the Phoenix Project. So I'm, I think, on chapter 9. It's pretty good.
Isn't it great?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's
I
see.
do want to figure out what happens.
It's great. It's a great. I like it. It was fun. Let's see. Hey, what's going on? What's up, GPS Bo? What's going on here? I'm taking the AZ900 this
Good
weekend.
luck.
Nice. That's like 2 people, right? I mean, 3 people have mentioned the 900
hmm
so far.
Yeah.
Let me see what we got here. I think we got them all, right?
Yeah.
Oh, hold on here. They said it depends on company and how it interviews, but it's a good idea to know structures and algorithms.
I think they're
So
asking
if it's a
concepts
cloud
on
role,
some.
so if you're a software dev, then you will need to know structures and like algorithms and data structures. If it's cloud, not necessarily. It always depends. Like read the description and ask, right? I think we got them all. My internet's like choppy, so I think
Choppy.
we can end it.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a little early, but like we'll be back like next week, hopefully, if I don't get sick again. Yeah. But thanks for everyone hanging out. It was good to get a little time here.
For sure. Yeah.
Or should we got anything to add before we leave?
Not really. I'm looking forward to the weekend. Probably have that Python stuff figured out. And game a bit. I'm hoping to get some time to play some games. Before start the new role. But yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Last
hopefully
weekend
you get
before you
better.
start work at Google. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, everyone. See ya.